If you are someone who smashes the gym when everything is going well, but the second something happens that's out of your control, that disrupts your routine, disrupts your consistency and momentum, to the point where you feel frustrated and as though you're starting to regress and lose all the progress that you've made, then this video is for you. I'm going to talk you through a key mindset shift that I spoke to my client about that's really helped him to navigate a busy period and continue progressing with his fitness. So let's get into the video. First of all, I want to give you a little bit of context. So my client Ollie is a fat loss client. He's been doing very, very well since the start of the year. We've had a really good run lately where he's been able to do all of his sessions. He's been able to prep his meals quite easily. There's not really been much going on at the weekends. It's been a very, very good run, Up until very, very recently. A couple of weeks ago, he got back from Ibiza. Something went on at work. The change in his work patterns has meant now that he cannot get to the gym the same amount of times going forward. His meal prep is now even more difficult to the point where he's starting to struggle with it, and this is showing in the responses he's given me in his check-in. So I want you to put yourself in Ollie's shoes right now. You've been doing very well for 5-6 weeks. You've lost weight consistently throughout that 6-week period. Something has now happened which is cutting back your consistency. Something is in the way of what you're trying to achieve, and obviously that feels frustrating. Feels like something's just stopping you from moving forward. Ollie said himself here he feels disappointed to have missed workouts and not dropped weight this week, and he feels as though it's been a tough 10 or so days, and he feels as though he's dropped off the wagon a bit. So disappointed and dropped off the wagon. Two completely understandable feelings when something out of your control gets in the way. But here's a key point that I want you to think about. When you've been consistent for a few weeks, any small drop-off feels massive when it really isn't. So say, for example, you've been pushing yourself, and let's say it's on a scale of 0 to 100. You go all the way to 100, you push and you push and you push and you push. You're in your routine, you're in your rhythm, everything's going well. The second something gets in the way and you drop off, even if you drop off by 10%, it feels massive. Absolutely massive, doesn't it? To the point where you get frustrated and you say, oh, this is so annoying. There's no point in me pushing on. If I can't complete what I'm doing now to the same level that I was doing it previously, then it feels like failure. I'm not repeating the success that I had before, and obviously it's showing on the way-in now because it's plateaued. But I said to Ollie, look mate, you've maintained your lowest ever body weight despite it being the busiest week of your life. Despite all this stuff changing, you've still managed to maintain where you are right now. That's a massive victory. For guys that are stuck with that all or nothing mindset, if you can learn how to maintain and hold the line where you are right now, you'll always progress, because when the stressful week does subside, you can go back into it and continue moving forward, which is a skill Ollie's learned very recently throughout the coaching. So two main goals Ollie had when we first started. One of them was to drop quite a bit of weight gradually through proper nutrition. The second goal was to make his diet a lifestyle change rather than a quick fix. He didn't want to bounce between good bouts of progress and falling back to square one again. He wanted to make this permanent. And we've done that this week. I said to Ollie on the check-in, he's proved to himself that he can hold the line and he can maintain, and this is a lifestyle change. It's not something that just we do for a few weeks and then he's back to square one. It's not a temporary diet. Now, throughout this period since the start of the year, Ollie's been faced with a few difficult periods, which reaffirms where we are right now. So right here was Christmas and New Year's. He managed that very well. He had a newborn baby right here, managed that very well. Continued to drop fat, and then he went to Ibiza and again managed it very well. Previous versions of Ollie and versions of yourself maybe watching this right now would get to this point, get to the day that he's at today, or the point of the check-in, and say, right, well, something's in the way now. There's no point. I can't do what I was doing previously. I'm just going to go and binge eat. I'm just going to give up. I'll start back from zero again. I'll wait till this subsides and then I'll go again. That's the trap that so many guys fall into, and it's why you're not going to see long-term success if you don't put it right. You're forever working hard, getting to 50%. Something happens and you drop back down to zero again. And then your whole year is just endless cycles of doing really well for a bit, then falling back. Doing really well for a bit and then falling back. And when you repeat that cycle over and over again, it becomes more and more frustrating each time. Because as soon as something gets in the way, all those thoughts come flooding back and you say, oh, well, here we go again. I'll have to wait until it passes. I'll have to wait until it passes. Ollie's never going to get to that point again because we've taught him how to not regress, how to maintain at all times, which is a key point that we push to all our clients. The all or nothing thinkers, they struggle with maintaining during busy periods. Maintenance is the skill that changes everything. Social media and all the rest of it, all we do is hype up fast results. How much weight can you lose? How much muscle can you gain? Nobody talks about how important it is to learn how to maintain where you are right now. If you can maintain what you've got through a busy period, you will always progress. And that's what the most successful people do in fat loss and improving their fitness. They know how to maintain regardless of how crazy life is. We all know how to push hard. That's not a desirable skill anymore. I think we went through a bout of it on social media over the last few years where it was all about who can push themselves the hardest. Everyone can push themselves hard. It's just what blokes do in particular. Like, we all push ourselves hard. There's not a lot of people that know how to maintain. Until you learn how to maintain that, that's when you're going to succeed long term. And this is what we teach our clients. Instead of us teaching them how to go from 0 to 100, we teach them how to go from 75 to 100. Never falling back below that point. So where you may have been previously going from 0 to 50, 0 to 50, we teach you exactly what needs to be done to never fall behind a certain point. Take all the stress out, all the overwhelm out, just keep ticking over. Then when your stressful week subsides, you can go straight back into it and keep moving forward. And we do that by using a middle line mindset. The middle line is a place of routine, consistency and habit that despite whatever is going on in your week right now, I know if you as a client can tick off these things, you will never fall back. So for this client in particular, for him to make consistent, steady progress without burnout, if he can hit 8,000 steps a day, get in routine with his sleep, drink 3 litres of water a day and plan his 1 and 2 meals in the morning, he'll never fall backwards and he'll never regress, you know. Key indicators that he's here, he feels like he's in control, he feels focused and he has a clear head. And in corrective actions for this client to stay there, get your food shop complete before the week starts, phone down 30 minutes before he goes to sleep, and look ahead at the schedule and pre-book his workouts. Forget everything else. Forget all the rest of it. Just do the middle and you will maintain where you are. Then when it subsides, you can go back into it. The main issue that I see with guys with the all or nothing mindset, there is no middle line. It's slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast. And that's the cycle that I've just spoken you through, where you go from 0 to 50, 0 to 50. You push, you push and you push. Excessive cardio, over-restricting. You feel wired but tired. You make some good progress. Something happens that's out of your control. Oh, there's no point. I'll go back to the slow line. Excessive snacking, overcorrection. You're feeling drained and frustrated. That's the cycle that most guys are stuck in. We teach you how to stay in the middle line, like Ollie has done recently, so he can continually lose fat. It's now a lifestyle change. It's not a temporary diet or something that just goes in phases. If you can learn how to maintain where you are right now, you'll never regress. If you have any questions about what I've said, message me on YouTube, message me on Instagram. I'll get back to you as